In Zen, you are everything you need to get to you. You are the teacher, you are the student, you are the questioning, you are the answers, you are the path, you are the destination. Because of the transcendental nature of the mind, because of the undivided nature of the mind. A story comes to mind. When Bodhidharma went to China, the then Chinese emperor came to know about him and wanted to see him. The emperor said, "My mind is very uneasy, very disturbed. You are a great sage. Please tell me what I can do to put my mind at peace." Bodhidharma said, "You don't have to do anything, just bring your mind to me." The emperor couldn't understand and asked, "What do you mean?" Bodhidharma said, "Come in the morning at 4 o'clock when no one else is around, and don't forget to bring your mind with you." At 4 in the morning, the emperor got up thinking, "I don't understand what he meant, but I must still go and see him." Seeing the emperor, Bodhidharma asked, "So you have come, where is your mind? Have you brought it or not?" The emperor said, "You talk nonsense. When I am here, then my mind is also here. It is not something I can leave behind or forget. My mind is within me." Bodhidharma said, "Okay, so first it is decided that your mind is within you. Now, close your eyes, look within, and find out where exactly it is. Let me know the moment you find it, I will put it at ease." The emperor closed his eyes and tried to look for the mind. He tried and tried. The more he looked, the more he realized that there is no mind, just a bundle of activities. The moment he realized that the mind is not something, he realized the absurdity of his quest. If the mind is not a thing, then nothing can be done about it. He opened his eyes and bowed down to Bodhidharma and said, "There is no mind to be found." Bodhidharma said, "There, I have put it at peace." What is the mind? Is it a thing? Is it something that you can identify? Is it something you can control? Now, if you were to divide the Western philosophy of life from the Eastern, the single biggest divide would be in the understanding of the mind. The West thinks that it can control the mind. Mind can be controlled through activity. By choosing one activity and rejecting another. Mind can be controlled by keeping it busy. Mind can be controlled by shouting at it, screaming at it. If nothing works, by tranquilizing it. The East has always understood that mind is not something that can be controlled. That is why in all the treasure trove of ancient spiritual literature, we hardly find a method to actually control the mind. Teachers don't like the word control. Why is it? What is the problem in controlling the mind? When I am not my mind, when I am something more than my mind, isn't it natural for me to control the mind? Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? If I'm unable to control my mind, then what else can I actually control? I will have control over nothing. So there should be a way to control the mind. Well, what if everything that you are identified as you, identifying as this is me, is also a part of the mind? You are talking as if you are something totally different from the mind. When you say, I want to control my mind, who are you? Where are you? What are you? Can you exist for a single moment without the mind? Can you know that you are without the mind? Can you even imagine existing without the mind? Everything is mind. Even this desire to control the mind is coming from the mind, because it is so fed up with itself. It is so irritated by its noise and chaos that one part of the mind is trying to control another part of the mind. Now, even if you succeed in controlling the mind, now who's going to control you? Because you are an extension of the mind. If nobody controls you, then all that controlling that has happened through conscious effort has actually helped you to lose control of yourself. You have spent so much time, so much energy, trying to control one part of your mind that you have completely forgotten the other part of the mind. That's exactly what has happened in the West. In the West, in an attempt to control the mind, in an attempt to control life, which is an extension of the mind has become very one-dimensional. All the energy and focus has gone into controlling thoughts, thinking. But mind is so much more than just thinking. All your senses are born out of the mind. Everything you perceive, what you see, what you touch, what you smell is happening through your mind. The farthest, the faintest of sounds you're listening to, the tiniest of vibrations, they're all a part of your mind. Because you have misunderstood what mind is, you have misunderstood what control is. The Eastern philosophy has always regarded the mind as something supreme, as something that has to be very carefully dealt with. Mind has to be understood, because mind is both your friend and your enemy. If you understand your mind, it is your friend. If you do not understand your mind, it is your enemy. Once an individual approaches a gate, there's a gatekeeper standing there, and he does not know that the gatekeeper is actually a Zen master. Now this individual comes there and he asks, I want to know the way to heaven. Apparently, probably the gate there says hell. He asks him, can you show me the direction to go to heaven? The Zen master starts abusing him. And this man gets angry, totally agitated. I'm just asking for directions and you are a gatekeeper. I'm finding my way to heaven and you are insulting me. He starts shouting back. They both start abusing each other. And then the Zen master tells him, wait. Now that is hell. Go find heaven for yourself. He put him in a state and introduced him to what hell is. In a way, he was saying, how dumb of you to be searching for heaven and hell on the outside. It is within you. Just realize it. Well, I cannot show you heaven because that is a state you need to cultivate, but I can show you hell. And I just did. And if you can avoid that, if you can understand your mind, if you can understand falling into the vicious cycle of thinking in the hopes of trying to control the mind, that stilling of the mind, that quieting of the mind, that expansion of the mind to its true original nature, which encompasses everything around it, that is Zen. That is peace. That is joy. The objective of Zen is not to escape the mind, is not to run away from the mind, is not to suppress it, is not to control it. Zen does not like all these words. Zen says, you are the mind. Why are you trying to fight with it? And there is no one place where your mind is. Wherever you go, your mind is already there before you arrive there. You cannot go to a place where your mind isn't there. Even in the moment of enlightenment, the ultimate realization is basically the realization of your pure mind without any thoughts in it. Eventually, that limited identification that has kept you occupied with certain things that are happening in the mind is blown open, and you realize the totality of the mind. That is nirvana. Nirvana is that moment when you are not seeing anything, you're not perceiving anything, but you are. And you're also fully aware that you are. Now, how can such a thing happen from a faculty that has nothing to do with the mind? Because every time you come back to the present moment, you could be lost for hours. But when you come back, that sense of realization that I am, where is it happening? Is it happening outside your mind, or is it happening inside the mind? It's always happening inside the mind. Even when you don't verbalize it, even when you don't say it out loud, when you come back to the present moment, there is no jumping from the mind to something totally new. There is no jerking. It is a seamless transition. Wherever you are, no matter how much you are lost in thoughts, when you come back, the passageway is always smooth. And nothing is actually obstructing you. When you decide to come back, you can come straight, no matter how far you are gone from the mind. Now, what does this mean? It means that mind is a totally transcendental phenomenon that we don't understand at all.